Hello and welcome, Kingdom citizens, Velocity Banking students, and subscribers. My name is Denzel Rodriguez, your personal finance geek, and today we're going to be going over how to set up your Kingdom plan, how to fundamentally set up your Kingdom plan so that you can create financial freedom in your life, build a legacy that will last forever, and fulfill your purpose, okay? On the board, I am going to be using my own numbers so that I can systematically, mechanically, number by number, frame by frame, display exactly how I flow money in and out of my accounts so that I can bring in more money. And I am simply going to use my personal income. Now, I do have a business. My business pays me personally. So I'm going to go over my personal income first, and then in a separate video, I'll do my business income, how I flow that money. And it'll be very similar to this, but just with bigger numbers, okay? So I figured, let me show you the small numbers first so you can get a real clear picture of how awesome this can be, how awesome it can work for you, all right? So I'm going to name some tools. If you get lost, it's okay. Just rewatch the video. Trust me, it'll sink in. Now, let's go into the numbers here. My income, this is what I pay myself per month, $3,000 a month. Here are my total expenses on the personal side, $1,906.60. Current cash flow is $1,093.40, zero debt. I have a policy where I'm funding $11,000 a year, right? So I'm throwing $11,000 a year into the policy. This comes from my expenses, so I already have it listed in there. Here is the Kingdom living plan. All right, so we're gonna go into the Kingdom plan, but I want to show you how to live like a king. And there are some fundamental principle rules that a king follows with his finances so that he can remain king. In fact, grow as a king, as an influencer, as a leader in this world and in the next, okay? So, 3 rules when it comes to your finances. Pay yourself first. Listen, doesn't matter where you go in the world, you must pay yourself first in order to be effective in whatever you do in your life. Got it? The second thing is to tithe. Now, tithing is a biblical term from what I know, from what I grew up on. But if you were to go to any successful business workshop, high-end, where the tickets are $500 or more per seat, or I should say like $1,000 or more per seat, you will at some point hear that successful speaker, business owner, even if they're not religious, they will talk about giving and making sure that you give at least 10% to a charity, to an organization of some sort. Well, in this case, let's follow that same rule. So this applies to everyone, whether you're religious, not religious, spiritual being, whatever you classify yourself as. This is a principle. It's a fundamental rule. When you give, you receive 10 times what you put in, only when you give from the heart. That is a principle rule right there. Be sure to give 10%, all right? Think of it as a tax in order to maintain your kingship, all right? Think of it that way. And the third rule is to give cheerfully. So you've got your paying yourself first, whatever number you choose from there. I pay myself first via my cash flow, my free cash flow. After all my bills, after all my expenses are paid, I look at my cash flow and I pay myself again through my policy. So I'm paying myself $11,000 a year from the amount of money that I just paid myself from my business. Go figure. So my business pays me, boom, $3,000 a month. And from that $3K, I pay my personal stuff that needs to get taken care of. And then I pay myself again via the cash flow, and I throw it in the policy, which is going to earn me 4 to 6% or higher tax-free. Okay? And that's how I create residual wealth, long-term wealth. And then I tithe 10% on top of what I just paid myself. And this can come from inside there, from other cash flow. All right. I take the tithe right out of the cash flow. So it's not in the expenses, it's out of the cash flow that I tithe. And then thirdly, I give cheerfully from my free cash flow. So my free cash flow is $9,520.80 after I've paid all my bills and took care of my tithe. The tithe can come from my policy if I choose, or we're going to go into some other tools that I use in advance to take care of my tithe so that I can do more things and secure my blessings, secure my kingdom ahead of time. I'm gonna start having you guys think a little bit differently. Start thinking like a king or a queen. Understand? So we got free cash flow, $9,520.80. The expenses, inside of the expenses include what I'm funding my policy, which I pay myself first. After this cash flow, you can take what? $300 a month, $3,600, that's what's left over. Got it? On this side is just showing you the annual numbers so that you can compare and see where I'm coming from here. Got it? So these are the annual numbers, these are the monthly numbers. Let's take a look at this kingdom plan here. Let's see what the heck did Denzel draw up for us today. Here is the system of which money flows, okay? So at the beginning of the system, we have our policy, which is right here. My first policy is with Mass Mutual, putting in $11,000 a year. That is what I'm committing to putting into the policy first. So in my case, my policy has already been established for more than a year. So I put $11,000 every single year. That's what I'm committing to doing. I'm earning 4 to 6% on whatever money is in the cash value after the insurance expense is taken care of. The next thing is I have my checking account right here. So we all have a checking account where income gets put in. So when my business pays me, the money lands into the checking account first. So that's where I first see the money each and every month. Policy's already established, got my income. Before I use my $3K to pay my bills and then have cash flow left over, what I do is I take out a policy loan that can pay for almost all of my bills for the whole entire year. So my total amount of expenses right here, not including what I pay into the policy or the tithe, okay, not including those two. I only pull out what has to go out in terms of like my living expenses, food, gas, miscellaneous, phone bill, you know, different stuff like that. It totals out to $11,879. So I take out a policy loan against my cash value that's sitting in there, lands in the checking account. Before I use that money to pay the bills and the income that's coming in for the new year, right? So pretend like we're at the start of a brand new year, right? So I'm in 2019 right now, say going into 2020, brand new year, we got 12 months, and I'm gonna borrow out $11,879 first month, January, and then I'm gonna also get paid $3,000. So I'm gonna have like what, $14,000, right, on hand in the account. Before I use any of that cash at all, I'm gonna determine what are all my bills that can get paid with a credit card, all right? And that's the third box over here. So just put that on hold. So you got all this money in your checking account right now. Let's put that on hold and let's direct our attention over here to the next box, which is our credit card. What I do every single year is I find a credit card with a 0% offer on purchases for about 12 months. Maybe, 6 is cool, 8, but I try to go as high as 12. And I try to obtain a limit that matches the amount of expenses or much higher than what I will pay in an entire year for all my bills. So 11,000, that's the number. I'm going to try and get a credit card for like, 10 or 15K. And I'm just going to run the card up. I don't care about the high balance. I don't care about that stuff. Listen, no debt. Credit's awesome. I don't care. Credit's going to do this all the time. It's going to go up and down. So when I use my credit, it's going to go down. When I use my credit, it's going to go up. All right? So I don't really care about that. I'm focused on leveraging this credit card for the 0% to pay nothing in interest and to get cash back. You probably get anywhere from 1 to 3% cash back on everything that I spend. Not bad. So I'm going to make money just by running all of my bills, or as many as I possibly can, for the whole entire year in advance. Right? So I'm going to try and like pay for everything at the first of the month and not have like any bills. How cool is that? So I'm going to run that credit card up. All right, so the credit card pays bills. I get cash back, so I'm making money here. I still got my income and the money that I borrowed out here. I'm making money on what I just borrowed here. So I'm making money, making money. Money is sitting, right? A couple of things I can do. A couple of ideas that I had is I can shift this money right here into a savings account, a bit of a high yield savings account. You know, those online banks that give like almost 2.5 or 1.5%. So I can throw that money, not the 3K, but this money that I took out, put it in here, earn about 1 or 2% or whatever. We'll see. All right, and just have that money sit there in a savings account. So I'm earning money, earning money, earning money, money sitting, 3K. Whatever cannot get paid with the credit card of my 1906.60 of expenses will get dumped, or will get paid out of the checking account. Another thing I have as backup or support is an emergency fund, but it's not like a savings account emergency fund. It's simply what? My unsecured personal line of credit for like 10K. That's my emergency account. Anything goes down, I can pull from that at any time. Now, here's what I do. On the anniversary date of my policy, I can leverage my personal unsecured line of credit, okay, and make a chunk payment to the policy for $11,000. So in my case, I'll have a line of credit for 15K, and as I go through the years, I'll keep increasing it every single year. But for now, $15,000 personal unsecured line of credit. The interest rate does not matter to me, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. But here's what I can do. Is on the anniversary date of my policy, or in your case, whether it's at the beginning of the year, towards the end of the year, middle of the year, in my case, it's right around the middle of the year. So as I have money coming in, money going out to pay bills, right? Using the credit card, pay bills and get my cash back, earning money on the policy, whatever I can't pay with a credit card, the bills are getting paid out of the checking account. All the money that I pulled out of the policy loan is sitting in a savings account, okay, earning 1 to 2%. This is very, very simple, people, okay? I'm not getting into investing just yet. Well, we'll get there. I'm not getting into multiplying money just yet. I'm just showing you where I park money for now as a young individual. And as I get older and as I learn more and invest my time in things, I'll expand this out. But I wanted to create something so simple that anyone could follow to start their journey on becoming the king or queen that they want to be. So we got the money sitting there. What I could do is I could either, on the anniversary date of the policy where we dump more money in, more money, not pay back, okay? We can dump more money in, is I can borrow this line of credit, make a chunk, and send money to the policy. So what I could do essentially is I could have a policy loan outstanding against my cash value in my policy, right? I can have it outstanding. Meanwhile, when I approach the new year to put a new 11,000 in there of principal cash, I can pull from here to dump it in there, okay? Watch this. So I now have 22,000 plus in cash value, right? Because the first year, 11,000, the second year, 11,000. So after the expenses are out, there's probably going to be, it'll be less than 22,000. But the point is, 22 goes in, right? I have 11,800 out, sitting here earning a couple percent. I'm earning interest over here. I'm getting cash back over here, right? Now I'm in debt for the 11K, whatever I took out of the line of credit. I can take this 3K that gets dumped into the checking account and put it in here to sit so that I don't pay any interest. The difference of whatever I owe after I dump 3K in is I can pull from my savings, that 11, and have it sit in there, zero the account. And then for maybe 1 or 2 months, I take money out to pay whatever bills I have, but it's only going to take me about a month or two to zero that line of credit out. So I took some money from the savings, threw it in there, so I pay nothing in interest. All I did was took from an account that had more than 11,000 in there so I can fund the policy for the brand new year. So I still have an outstanding loan, right? We're going to go through the months, month 1 through 12. So far, the policy got paid for its new year. My expenses are getting paid through the credit card. Whatever can't get paid with a credit card comes out of the checking account. I have 11,000. This 11,000 that I originally took out is earning interest in the policy, but it's also going to earn some more interest over here, 1 to 2%. Right? Whatever cash back I earn throughout the whole entire year will get dumped into here. Whatever cash flow, remember, I have cash flow from the 3,000. Whatever cash flow is left over can also come here. And then that is just going to be earning me some money, right? Pretty cool. This is at zero. This is earning me money. Earning 1 to 2% over here. Earning 4 to 6 over here, tax-free. Tax-free. As I approach the end of the year, couple of things I can do here. When I approach the end of the year and I'm starting the new year where I'm going to have to throw in another 11, right, to fund the policy again. What I can do is I can pull from the savings, right? I can pull from the savings to pay back the policy loan. Could do that. Or because I don't lose money when I borrow against the policy, I could simply, when I step into the next year, right, I can take out another 11K out of the policy. I'll have it there in cash, all right, because I used the line of credit money to fund it again for that new year, right, that we're analyzing here. And when I step into the next year and funded another 11, before I even fund that other 11, I'm going to have 11 to work with, okay? In my case, because I already have cash value built up in the policy. So this works for me because I have cash value built up already. I took some time before I started doing all this. I took some time to just focus on funding it first, and then here's how I'm going to flow and use the money. I could either use the cash flow, the free cash flow, number right here. You can use the free cash flow, that 9K plus the 11 that's sitting in there, plus the cash back that I earned, right, that sits in there, plus the interest that I earned throughout the whole year could sit in there. And what I could do, because I'll have more than enough to pay back the policy loan or just fund another 11K. I could just wait. I could just let the policy loan just sit outstanding. Just let it keep sitting. Meanwhile, I'm earning interest. So I can do one or the other. What I could do with this money, check this out, is I can collateralize that money and open up a CD. Right? This is simple stuff. I'm not even getting into like real investing, like real estate or Forex or trading, or I'm not even doing that yet. Right? I'm just trying to be very practical and simple that any human being can do with their money on the personal side. When it comes to the business, it's a whole nother ballgame, right? I'm gonna have another video, trust me. It's gonna be business income. I'm gonna show you what I do with that money. This is just showing what a mom can do with her money, a dad that maybe they don't desire to have a business, or maybe you don't desire to be like, the head person. Maybe you're a support, or maybe you're the number 2 man in the company, or the number 2, the left hand, the right hand to the number 1 of a CEO. Maybe that's your role and you love that role. Hey, here's what you can do fundamentally, principle with your money to be right with yourself, right? To own your kingdom authority, fulfill the purpose you have in your life. Right? I'm just showing you a couple things here. Simple, small interest gains. These are not huge, but this does make a huge difference in terms of not having any borrowing costs. That's all I'm doing, is offsetting your borrowing costs from the line of credit and the policy. And in fact, in the whole process of doing it, I'm actually earning. So I don't lose my money ever. I stay ahead of inflation, because inflation is 2%, cost of goods, increase in costs or whatever, living. I stay ahead of all that. And I stay ahead of taxes, because this money is all growing tax-free. And all we're doing by doing this system is we're allowing more and more money to flow inside of that account so I can have tax-free gains on all of my money. And then just leverage the money to keep earning outside. Right? So I'll have to, pay interest. I'll have to pay taxes probably over here and on the CD. I'm cool with that. I have funds to take care of it. I can pull from the line of credit, I can pull from my savings, take care of it. No issue. All right? So with the CD, I can collateralize the cash flow savings plus the money I took from the policy. I can open up a CD and what? Earn another 2% maybe? Right? Get like a 6 or 12-month CD. I'm not too sure how these things work, but those certificates of deposit. I've seen 1.5, I've seen 2.5, find one. And you pull however much you want out of here. You throw it in there, you collateralize it, right? When I go into the next new year, again, the 2 options are, option 1 is you can pull from the savings and just pay back the policy loan, take more money out, right? Or you can take from the savings cash flow and fund it with new money, right? The difference, what's left over, because you're going to have cash back from here, interest earned from here, and you're going to have cash flow for the entire year in there, in addition to your 11 that you originally pulled out. So you're going to have quite a bit of money right in there. All right? I can either, from the difference of the 11 that I funded for the brand new year, I can go ahead and just collateralize the difference in a CD and earn an additional 2% of money. right? I could do this probably year 2, year 3, and year 4 when the account really starts to build. Because if you do this year after year, every single year you get a new credit card that earns cashback rewards. You have money growing 1 to 2% or higher in the savings. You have cash flow that's growing. You've got this line of credit that you can use to fund the policy, right? Again, for the new year. That's another option. Without even using the cash flow to pay back the policy loan, again, understand you can keep that outstanding and never lose money. You can just keep it outstanding and just keep funding the policy in the new year, right? The new year, just fund it with more principal, and it's going to add to the overall cash value gains of it. So whatever interest is getting charged on the policy loan, you're offsetting it with new monies. And what you could even do is just pay the interest on the policy loan. Could do that as well. So just take a little bit from there, pay it there, or we can pull from the line of credit, pay it there. Am I sounding confusing? Did I lose you back at, in the first 5 minutes of talking about this? I probably did. It's not that easy. I'm trying to go as slow as possible and be very practical with it. But this is what I'm personally doing with my finances, right? And it makes me very happy that my clients, when I start showing this to them, that they get it. So if you're brand new, you're probably not going to get it right away, especially if you don't understand the whole velocity banking concept and infinite banking. But if you do, you'll probably really like this on a practical level, right? Again, we're not even going into investing yet. That's going to be a whole nother video. It's going to be more exciting, way more returns on that. I'm just simply showing something that's totally simple, totally easy on the personal side. Now, when it comes to the tithe and the giving, couple of options here, right? Depending on, if you give your tithe to like a nonprofit or a church, a lot of those organizations accept credit cards. So you could have another credit card at a 0% offer, or the same one if there's enough credit limit, and just make an annual payment of $3,600. You took care of your tithe right at the beginning of the year, right? Boom, took care of it. You could run that through the credit card. If you can't run it through the credit card, you could pull from the line of credit, you could pull from the savings. You're gonna have plenty of cash flow in there, trust me, right? And then when it comes to the giving, this is just your heart flowing throughout the year. Someone needs help. You want to help someone out financially. You want to coach somebody, mentor. You want to give them your time, right? You have the ability to do that. You can equip them by teaching them this, right? Or showing them what you're doing, what your strategy is with your finances, right? There's so many options here. As you continue through the year over and over again, remember, these credit limits can rise. This line of credit will rise. The savings account will rise. I'll keep earning interest, so you'll have the ability to give more and more and more. And here's where the big returns start to come in. When you follow this rule right here, this principle and the giving principle, remember how I said you get 10 times back what you put in as long as you do it from the heart and it's meaningful and it's from the heart, period. Not because you want to get 10 times a 10x back. But seriously, if you do it from the heart, you really, really want to help someone, whether you're coaching them, giving them your time, you're mentoring them, you're showing them this strategy, you're equipping them, or you're simply giving them a big chunk of money to go do what it is that they want to do, or they have to pay a bill, whatever it is. If you do that straight from the heart, I don't know how it'll work, but I have personally seen it happen in my own finances where out of nowhere, in one day, I'll make 10 grand, or 15 grand, or 5,000 will just drop right on my lap, or an opportunity will open where I get the chance to, speak to a bunch of people, new prospects, new clients, right? Stuff just opens, right? So when that happens, all that money, right? This is what I call just blessings, right? So whatever blessings come your way, what I do is I just throw it back into the account. I throw it back into the savings account and I let it sit there. Let it sit there, let it grow. And you get to a point where you have to increase this because you're going to be earning so much. And be sure to increase it. Do not, do not stay at the original 10% that you were at. Because when you start getting 10 times return on your money when you're giving, be sure to increase that tithe based on the new amount of income that you make, and be sure to keep giving, and you'll see another 10x come every single year. So what I like to give in annual, I'm actually starting to switch where I give annually an amount of money to an organization or a nonprofit. So I throw my tithe. I try to get it done at the beginning of the year, right? Before I even make the income that I know I'm going to make. I'm trusting in my Creator, right, to supply all of my needs so that this works. So there's a bit of a trust and faith factor in this whole scenario here. Now you can do it really well, right, on your own. I'm sure you can. But the way my heart is set up is I love the idea of having this all-knowing being just supply everything that I do and put it on my heart to give exceedingly and abundantly so that things can be revealed to me, deep questions in life can get answered. I can solve problems where others may not have answers to. I can just solve the problem because I've been given the wisdom to be able to do such a task, right? So that's my reasoning behind these principles and rules. Another thing is a principle is a principle. You can't violate a principle or a law. The law would violate you, right? It's going to go against you. It's very hard to go against a principle, but to each his own. I'm just showing you the personal, faith-driven side of how I function with my finances and how you can do the same. This works very well when you don't have debt. Let me know if you have any questions about this strategy that I laid out here today. I know it can be confusing. It was confusing to me when I first started doing it, but it really starts to make sense. And it's very helpful when you do get like that whole 10x return just by giving and receiving. Okay, just by giving and receiving, just by following those principles, I get this whole return. So just wait when I make the video on the business side of how I actually 10x my income and use that money to multiply it and still give, okay? Still give and tithe with that money because those are separate monies. Got the business that's making money and then got me personally that makes money. And I make sure I'm tithing on both levels so that all my ducks are in a row. I'm in line with the King of Kings and I retain my kingdom authority, my kingship here on earth. My name's Denzel. Hope you have a wonderful day and God bless.